Hi guys, just Mike here from Show Us Ya Slotz. Just want to go over the BRM Championship we've just had. So I've got Anthony here with me, who's a regular racer at our slot car centre. Just going through from the day, two main races from BRM. We had the Legends and we had the Group 2. So good mix of cars, would you say, for the racing?
Yeah, there certainly was. It was a great couple of days of racing. So we had the Datsun 240Z, the
Capri Escorts was in there. So that was quite nice to see those on the track, and the Alpha as well was up there as well.
Alpha was certainly popular.
So yeah, it was a good mix of cars, and there didn't seem to be any massive difference between them. There weren't one particular car that model of car was in front on everyone else. It seemed quite even against the models, which is great of what BRM have done there. It's got the performance of all the cars pretty similar, so it was good racing on the day. So on the let's start with the Group 2s anyway. So the Group 2s there, what did you run on the day?
The Datsun 240Z.
So you run the Datsun 240Z. So you got first place in the Group 2 with your Datsun 240Z. From memory, I think we had Eric coming in second, running an Alpha. Was that correct?
Yep.
So how did you find your Datsun 240Z?
Well, obviously quite happy with it indeed.
Yep. We're going to just bring that into shot for us.
Yeah, we can bring that down.
Have a look. So we'll just bring that into shot. So okay, so that's the actual car that you ran on the day.
Let's memorise it. Yeah. Yep.
So on the car itself, how did you find it out of the box? Pretty good straight away, or do you need to do a lot to it? Or
not a lot, but like any car I do, you always have a look at them from the ground up, and just make sure everything is in good order. Setting your pillar blocks and things like that, getting your heights right, make sure the guides.
Yeah, so just looking at the car itself there, just getting it into shot. For those of you not familiar with this car, so this is a BRM Datsun 240Z. Comes in a few different liveries. But you can see that spoiler is nice and drop your car.
Yep.
Is nice and low there at the front, which is great to see. So pretty good.
Still got plenty of clearance.
Clearance under there. There's plenty of clearance there. I don't know if you guys can see that at the angles I'm doing. Tailpipes are really nice on the back of this. It's just a good looking car all round. And well, proof's in the pudding, as I say, and it performed nicely on the day. So with the tyres, original front tyres that you ran on there was the standard front tyres that came with it. So you trued them up, I'm guessing.
Yes. Yep.
So a bit of a truing on the front tyres. The rear tyres on these were a handout tyre. And that was 25 Shore.
25s, yep.
So we put a 25 Shore tyres on there, which were handed out on the day. So again, I'm guessing you trued them up after handing out.
Yep.
Okay, so basically that's pretty much it. You've kept it, as per the rules. It's pretty much standard as to run. And there's a lot of guys there with different cars, and I saw them struggling on the track. And from looking at that, I think from what I could see was attention to detail on maybe the front tyres and the truing up of them. People tend to forget those front ones. I think it's important to do them as well. But any other points that you sort of put towards anyone for these? Is just anything in particular you tell them to check?
Just obviously make sure your axles are spinning nice and freely. As I said, align your axle mount blocks.
Yep.
Keep a good eye on that. Obviously, your gear mesh is adjustable. We've got a nice, good, clean gear mesh, so that runs nice and cleanly.
Yep. I won't ask you all your personal little bits and pieces because that's what wins you the race. But all in all, nothing added to car that shouldn't have been added anyway. No, it was a pretty good race. It was quite tight between you and Eric throughout that race, and I weren't sure who were going to get that, to be honest, at some points. So, he gave a good. Eric definitely kept the pressure on you.
Certainly, I think from memory, he took an earlier lead in the first heats. But yeah, this was a fast car. It was a very consistent car that drove really well. Yeah, overall it come through.
Yep, no, good on you. So what I'll do, I'm just going to flick back to the other screen. So that's the so that was the Legends. That was the Group 2 race that we ran on our flat track, and then the following day we ran the Legends cars on our Suzuka track, which is a bit more bank track. And your car of choice that day was
this lovely GT Red GT40.
Yeah. So again, Anthony won first position again against Eric as well, who took second in the Legends GT40 race. And this one was a close race because you two were swapping positions towards the end on the couple of heats before the end. It was looking up. To be honest, I'll be honest. I thought Eric was gonna have it, but he did get knocked off and had a bit of bad luck as well, which just you managed to just recover that and get right to the top and beat him. But it's a couple of times throughout that race, I really didn't know who was going to get it between you both. So you're in a GT40?
Yes, I run the GT40, and those of minus in the race, Eric ran the 917K Porsche.
Okay, so just a bit of a look for the guys. I'm going to swap cameras back again just to give a close-up on the cars. So GT40 comes in a couple of different colours. This is fairly new from the BRM side. It came out not long before the racing and that. So again, real good-looking car. So that's that one. There's also comes in, I don't know whether you've ever seen the other one. There's another livery, which is, I've got to say, this one is my favourite livery out of the GT40s. I don't know, the colour looks, whether it's different on camera, but in real life, there's just something about that colour.
It looks really nice, yeah.
Really nice.
Yep.
So, of which you now own both because you won the gold one.
I didn't win the gold one yet. Quite happy with that one. It's a very nice car.
Yeah, so GT40, what can you tell us about?
Okay, GT40. These are a little bit more open with the gearing, so there were some changes there. But again, build the car from the ground up. We'll just take the body off that one. Just set your body heights. Obviously, BRM have the adjustable rubbers for the body mounts and things like that, so you can control your body mount. Just always just make sure there's no sharp edges under your guards and things like that. So the car itself, nice and straightforward. The gearing was an open choice on these. The Plaffets are a good quality brand and obviously a nice range of sizes, so there was some solutions there for those.
So you had a bit more scope on what gearing ratio you wanted to choose by using the Plaffet, is what you're saying?
That's right, yeah.
Okay.
Yep. This car was set up, obviously, with the BRM axle holder spaces. These guys, they're available in a couple of different sizes, I think 0.12, 0.25 and half a millimetre spaces.
Yeah, so again, they're quite new through BRM, and they're such an ideal product for the BRMs and also for the Revos, I guess, as well, for just getting that axle heights exactly as you want them.
Yep. So they're obviously allowed for these guys. So, but they just go underneath your pillar blocks.
Yep.
Just here. Hopefully you can see that in shot. I'll just try a couple of different angles there. There's a little bit of adjustability in the chassis with these. There is this central mount here. You can move that forward and backwards. I've settled on the back position. Some further testing may show whether that was the best choice, but I can't argue that it wasn't based on the performance of the car. I do like running a little bit of the 3M tape just across the chassis plates. It just helps control or damp some of that movement that is there as well.
That rattle out?
Yeah, it can help control the rattle. But again, square pillar blocks, get the axle heights right, good gear mesh, get your guide set so that it self-centers, and should be all good from there. So
tyres on the end, 30 short?
I think I ran 30s on that for the day. The 25s will certainly give you a little bit more grip, potentially a bit quicker lap time. I'm not sure what Erica is running. Over a longer race, the harder compounds can be a little bit more consistent in their overall performance. Yeah.
But you can, I've got to say, on the race, and those of you who've not seen bits of the race, and there is videos out there. I'm going to try and do some shorter cuts of them and put them onto YouTube at some point. But we did live stream the event for the Group 2s, and then the Legends, unfortunately, wasn't live streamed, but there's a couple of video clips out there of the racing. So look out for those. I'll try and put some links at the bottom of this for those that haven't seen it. So just going back to the...
Yep, bring the Porsche up just to show the difference between these guys. There are a couple of different... Sorry, Mark.
Yep, so this is the Porsche one that Eric was running. So yeah, again, we took the body off that same sort of thing. The bodies are fairly light, which BRM have done a good job, and there's not a great deal of weight in the body. A little bit of weight at the back end, if anything. That's probably this area here and the tyre. So whether that is actually adding a fair bit of weight to the car at the back. I just noticed that as we took the body off. I don't know whether you've noticed that.
Yeah, it probably does bring that centre of balance back a little bit. Yeah. A bit of weight behind the rear wheels.
A bit of weight there at the back.
Yep. But the two significant differences in the chassis are a wheelbase and the track width. The Porsche is a shorter wheelbase when you compare these side by side, but it is a wider track. It's wider in both the front track and the rear. So there's going to be pluses and minuses in that depending on your racing style and how you want your car configured. You'll obviously a little bit more stability with the width, but a shorter wheelbase for potentially sort of a bit quicker, sharper turning.
Okay, yeah. So this Porsche at the moment is basically one that's straight off the shelf. This has not been checked or nothing's been done to this one for racing. This has had no work done to it whatsoever. Where this is the actual car, the GT40 is the actual car that you raced and won with.
Indeed, yep, that's right.
So next year?
Next year, certainly back again.
So what, you reckon you'll go with the same choice of car, or you think you might have a play and try something different?
Well, we'll always have a look if there's any new cars coming through and things like that. 12 months' time, we might have a look at those. Perhaps it's certainly very happy myself with the overall performance of the GT40. I haven't driven the 917 at length, so I might need to do that some more over the coming months just to get a better comparison.
See if you can beat the lap times you did with your GT40, is what you're saying.
I can do that. It might influence my decision what I run again next year for sure.
Okay. And with just jumping back to the Group 2s, you won the Escort.
I did win the Escort. We can probably bring that down. Yeah. Yep.
It's a shot a little bit.
This is out of the box, brand new setup. The only thing I've done with this is it comes with a little kit of rally parts that I've attached to the car to dress it up a little bit. So there was the mirrors, the driving lights, and the bonnet latches on the front, and there's a couple on the boot there as well.
Number plates were there?
Number plate? No, actually, that's right. I had to attach the number plates as well.
So this was again, thank you to BRM supplying the prizes for the race. So this is basically what you've got for winning one of the races. So you got the GT40 and you got the Escort. So
the gold GT40 and this lovely pink and green Escort.
A little bit. So the Escort, as Anthony was just saying then, with the
driving lights, front number plate, the bonnet latches, little rubber pieces, they've just been glued on, mirrors, and
driver.
There's a co-driver indeed as well.
Co-driver, you put the co-driver in because that comes optional in the box.
They come optional in the box. Yeah. He just needed a little bit of fitting. Obviously, he's got to pop the interior down to fit him in, and shorten his legs up a little bit so he doesn't hit the firewall.
So, I grew up in the UK and Escorts were everywhere over there. So I always got a bit of a passion for the Escorts. I've got to say, we've got a fly taking a lift. When I first saw this and saw the pink, I weren't too sure about it. But once you sort of get it out of the box a little bit more, start looking a bit closer, adding the bits and pieces Anthony's added to this one, which come with it as part of the kit, it's actually quite nice. I actually quite
like it
that.
too. I was a little reserved initially as well, I think, with the colour, but yeah, once I've had a chance to get out of the box and do it up a little bit, I think that's looking absolutely fantastic.
Yeah. So some great detail on there. You know, I mean, this everything on there, little, you know, fuel cap, the little vents at the edge of the window here. They haven't missed anything really, have they?
The details there, yeah,
It's
really nice.
You got to give them.
They've got some nice wheel inserts on those. I quite like that.
Yeah,
fine pattern they've got.
So we never know. We might see that on the track possibly next year.
May well. Back or certainly in the weekly or racing.
Yeah, so we race these as well, obviously, as part of our club nights as well. On a Tuesday, we brought them into our Tuesday night class, so we race the 132s now and the 124s on Tuesdays. So different racing each week and on the calendar. But I'm sure we'll be seeing more of these escorts. There were a few on the track on the day, and they are quite a popular choice with the guys. So all in all, I think the weekend went well. The feedback I got, everyone was quite happy with. Our tracks are a very smooth surface, so we clean the tracks with shellite, so we don't use any products on the track. So we clean them off with shellite, and then we just use the rubber tyres. It has been suggested, do we try foam tyres on the racing? But I don't know, what's your thoughts on foam tyres instead of the rubber?
I did some initial testing on foam while we waited for some tyres to turn up to trial through the GT40. They certainly respond quite well to foam. We've previously raced the McLarens on foam on the flat track, and they go very, very nicely. So yeah, they are a potential option.
Yeah, so with that though, if we run a foam, then I basically spray the track to give the grip for the foam. If we're running rubber, then we run a clean track, as I say, with a very smooth surface. And choice of tyre, we did find with the Group 2s, they were actually gripping really well. To say we've got a clean track, smooth surface, we're just using the tyres only, there's no other additives allowed on them. They were gripping quite well. Now we did have an option here of running 12-tooth pinion on the gearing, which I think most of the guys took that choice. Used to run 12-tooth in the gearing there. Did you run 12?
No, we ran 12. Yes.
So I think we ran 12 on there, and the motor seemed to get a little bit warm, so whether that was because we were running the 12-tooth or not, something I'll have further talk with BRM on. But that was probably the only concern on the day, was the motors were getting a little bit warm. So whether that was because we were running the 12-tooth pinion, I'm not sure, but definitely need to look at that and do a bit more study for next year on that. We ran the track at 12.5 volts. So again, a little bit more experimenting for next year to see if we can keep these motors a little bit cooler, I think, for next year. So, but all in all, I think we're a pretty good weekend.
Yeah, absolutely fantastic. And yeah, thank you, BRM, for the support with the event, with the prizes. And thank you to Mike and the other participants who turned up on the day to make an absolutely fantastic weekend.
It was a good fun weekend. Like I said, numbers weren't great, but the guys all walked away happy and smiling and said they'd had an enjoyable weekend. And I can't ask for more than that, so I appreciate the support from everyone. And the BRM have been in touch. So David from BRM has been in touch. He does send his apologies for not getting down here this year. He had booked flights and tickets to be here, but a few things happened and just work-wise it had to be attended to immediately, and he didn't make it this year. But he has sent me a message asking, do we lock in the same dates for 2026? At this stage, we haven't confirmed the actual date, but David is very keen to run it again for 2026, and he's guaranteeing he will be here for 26 this time, because he actually did purchase tickets, so he has moved his tickets to next year. So we'll update on that as and when I get more information. But for now, thank you to Anthony for taking the time today, and again, thank you to BRM and Lehman Hobbies also for helping put it all together with us. And we'll probably see you on another race at some time coming up in the future. I think the next big one is the Revo Slot Championship.
Yes, it's coming up in the middle of the year. So
that's in July. So we'll be sat talking about your win on that as well, will we, in July, you think?
Well, like a lot's got to go right, and some good races turn up, so the competition's always very strong.
Yeah, no, that's it. Hopefully we'll get a good turnout for that. I know there's a lot of new guys coming this year who've already booked in for that one from out of state. So we've got some new guys we've not seen race before, and information I'm getting, they're pretty good racers. So they've been winning a lot of competitions here and there that they've been into. So I think you're going to have some good competition coming down from other states this year to give you a run for your money. So yeah, if you haven't got on board with that one, tickets are still available. We have sold quite a few already for the Revo, but yeah, get in there and book the tickets for that Revo event in July. All right, we'll sign off for now, guys. But again, thank you to Anthony, and thank you to everyone that come down, and we'll catch you on the next one.
All right, thanks, Mark.